The narcissist's invalidation. Invalidation happens to anyone who's in any kind of a relationship with a narcissist. Invalidation is when your thoughts, feelings, opinions, weight, shape, job, hobbies, dreams, relationships, it can be as severe as everything about who you are and what you do is rejected, ignored, criticised and judged by the narcissist. Invalidation is another form of the narcissist manipulation to take control over us as we slowly fawn to their demands through their invalidation of us. Narcissists use invalidation to put us down so we don't achieve and they feel superior. When we are invalidated over a prolonged period of time, especially if it was our parents, but it can be siblings, friends, teachers, partners, we begin to lose trust in our own thoughts and our own feelings. We lose faith in our own abilities. We end up with low self-esteem, full of self-doubt, and often people-pleasing, so others don't feel the pain that we do. We begin to second-guess everything we do and what those around us do, thinking everything is our fault. So because of their manipulative gaslighting and blame shifting, this also invalidates our experiences and invalidates our reality. Invalidation makes us feel shame for being our true selves, for having feelings. It makes us close down who we are for fear of being invalidated. One of the 6 human needs is love and connection, to feel like we belong. It's as essential to our mental health as water is to our physical health. Connecting to others and having that sense of belonging and validation is a core human need. When we feel validated, we feel understood and accepted by those around us. When we are supportive of each other, when we raise each other up, we feel heard, seen, worthy, confident, loved, happy and valued. People who have the empathy to appreciate and understand how another is or could be feeling will validate others. And those who validate others, it makes them feel valued. And when it's reciprocated, it also makes them feel valued. When people acknowledge each other's thoughts, feelings and opinions, even if they're not their own, and even if they don't agree, they can agree to disagree. They can understand the other person's viewpoint, yet be strong enough to hold on to their own viewpoints when needed and not be taken down by another, and not be dismissive of other people's feelings. A narcissist, however, is lacking in the empathy, so they are incapable of validating another's thoughts, feelings, or sense of self, as the narcissistic person has deep down hidden insecurities and possibly never felt valued. They try to create this within themselves by invalidating those around them to feel valued within themselves. By putting others down, this then makes them feel superior, and when they feel superior, they feel valued within themselves, which is the wrong way to go about it, as it never truly validates them. They are incapable of connecting to others on that deeper level. They don't learn from their own mistakes or the mistakes of those around them. As growth is another one of the 6 human needs, they never grow. They become stuck in that pattern of repeat, hurting others and hurting themselves. Contribution is another human need, as they only ever contribute, sometimes positive. Nonetheless, it's always to meet a need of their own, but mostly it's negative to meet a need of their own. They end up feeling less validation, creating more insecurities, creating more shame, which they often learn to bury deep, hide it, mask it, run away from it, shift the blame. Deep inside, they live in a very woe is me, the world is against me mindset, and they keep going round invalidating others to feel better about themselves. So how do they invalidate us? With their lack of empathy, they don't understand on the same level that we do. They can invalidate us without saying a think when we try to communicate our thoughts, ideas or feelings with them and we get that blank stare. They are invalidating us. When we try to express our pain and they smirk, this invalidates us on that subconscious level. With their arrogance, when we discuss something we would like to do and they call us stupid or incapable, or even telling us it's not all about you, usually the overt way, or when they say, are you sure you want to do that, the covert way, this invalidates what we would like to do in life, their entitlement. So when they jump the line in a restaurant or they stand tutting in the shop and they are impatient as they expect to be served as soon as they walk into that shop, and you try explaining to them, we get put down. We get left feeling ashamed. We get invalidated. Often then we fear to bring it up again, depending on their reactions the last time we mentioned it. Grandiose, when we have ideas and plans for our future and they put them all down, telling us it's daft or that'll never happen, how we're not capable. It places those doubts in our capabilities, often stopping us from doing the very things we enjoy doing. Or if we do try and do it and make a mistake, as mistakes are a part of life, it's how we learn. But that one mistake with their toxic words, their judgment, can make us quit before we even get going. We lose our drive, determination, willpower as they invalidate us at every turn, or we question ourselves. And all they're doing is invalidating us to make themselves feel better by making us feel worse. Their need for excessive attention. So if something has happened to a loved one, good or bad, and you go to talk to them about it, they'll go on and on about something that happened to them that was far worse or far better. If they're envious of your achievements, they'll take the credit. Or they'll say things like, you couldn't have done that without me. Or they'll claim that you only got that because of outside help, not because of who you are. They invalidate you at every turn. Two people can talk through their own experiences to validate, support and show that they understand each other, a two-way conversation. A narcissist will not be interested in your experience unless they can use it against you in the future to provoke a reaction and use that reaction against you. Something like if you're feeling like they're doing something behind your back and you question them about it. So you might be feeling insecure and they will tell you you're being insecure. So you question your feelings and not their behaviour. And they'll come at you with things like, you're insecure, you're too sensitive, you're jealous. And they'll say things like, you don't trust me, I've not done anything. Is this because of what your ex put you through? I'm not to blame for your ex. This isn't about me, is it? This is about you and your past. Your mother, didn't she abandon you? So now you think I would. That's your trust issues. That's no reason not to trust me. They will turn and twist your own insecurities against you. Anything that you've told them that's happened in your past, they will use that to hurt you all the more and to get away with doing so by getting you to focus on your past, by getting you to focus on something else that's happened to you and take the attention away from what they're doing. They'll not validate and help you, and this is all done to hide whatever behaviour of theirs is causing you to mistrust them, because they'll just not admit it. To them, your feelings are the problem. Then when they come at us like this, because of our past, their points in our mind become extremely valid, causing more self-doubt, causing us to focus on us and not their treatment of us. They'll not use things that wouldn't bother us. They'll go after the things that they know will trigger us. Invalidation is a form of gaslighting as they deny us our feelings, opinions, ideas, our reality, often to distract us from whatever they're doing to get their needs met. Some of the manipulation methods and invalidation. The silent treatment is psychological manipulation to control someone else's mind by causing severe psychological and emotional pain and trauma. One of the most emotional and psychological damaging parts of an abusive relationship is their invalidation. When a narcissist has nothing to say, goes silent on us, we feel unimportant, invisible, irrelevant, and worthless. We most often don't understand why or what's happening. We look for reasons of what we did wrong. We are in the worst psychological and emotional pain. When we reach out, beg, plead, apologise, do all we can to make it up to them, and they still don't respond, we feel even more worthless. When they do finally respond, it releases the pain and trauma that they have put us in a negative way. We then perceive this as being heard and being valued and being validated. This is one of those causes for the trauma bonding, why we start walking on eggshells around them with that intermittent reinforcement of their reward punish when they move our emotions from excitement to panic and fear, releasing dopamine when we experience those highs and cortisol to help us through the stress of those lows. Trauma bonding keeps us emotionally attached to the narcissist. We've lived the times when they can raise us so high and shower us with attention. So we believe they can. We live that reality, which gives us the false hope of who they can be, and it's what causes that cognitive dissonance within our minds, where we feel confused and in that trance, in a daze, in that fog, controlled by their emotional abuse, that fear, obligation and guilt that they place in us, believing we are depressed or going crazy as it relates. And our beliefs are all mixed up due to the manipulative treatment towards us. Our realities are all mixed up due to their manipulative treatments towards us. We believe if we can just treat them right, they'll just treat us right. This then gets us believing within ourselves that we are to blame, that it's our fault because we don't feel validated. We then falsely believe that their silent treatments, their invalidation of who we are, is because of something we did wrong, and not that their actions towards us are indeed what makes them in the wrong. Then our minds get subconsciously trained into believing we must do something to earn that validation. It leads us to falsely believe that we are in the wrong of someone that doesn't validate us. As you are capable of accepting responsibility for things that you haven't even done, you are also more than capable of looking inwards, opening up, healing your inner traumas, learning about yourself, growing and moving forward onto a much happier life without the narcissist taking you down at every turn. Gaslighting is a hideous form of psychological manipulation also to distort another's reality. So the narcissist can keep us focused on the reality they want us focused on to distract us from the reality they don't want us to know anything about, to get away with their behaviour, to get their needs met. As a narcissist denies us our realities, our beliefs, our hopes, our dreams, our experiences, things like that never happened, I never said that, you're just insecure, no one likes you, you're overreacting, you're mistaken, it didn't happen like that. I'm not talking to you about this. You shouldn't be angry. It's all your fault. Don't take things so personally. It's not all about you. It invalidates our reality and our experiences, often leading us to go to them for validation and answers, just to end up unwittingly having ourselves invalidated even more. We slowly believe the false narrative of the narcissist's toxic words as it becomes easier for our minds to see it that way, and we feel validated by them when we accept their lies. Our minds believe the truth is harder to see and more painful to handle, so we begin to run away from it subconsciously, when in reality that pain lasts until we face it. Once we face it and deal with it, accept genuinely what has happened, connecting with those who've lived it, we become validated within ourselves and our experiences again. Blame shifting, where the narcissist definitely did do something, yet they'll twist and turn it around all onto us so they can escape accountability and they can avoid responsibility for their own behaviour. That with their gaslighting and silent treatments, our minds have already been trained to look internally at ourselves for blame. The narcissist uses many gaslighting phrases to pass the blame onto us and the silent treatments. So we self-blame, or they provoke to get a reaction from us and then downplay or forget what they did and turn it all around onto what we did. Even if we didn't do anything, they would find fault. When someone is always picking faults at your own behaviour, this leaves us questioning what's wrong with us rather than looking at reality. Their blame shifting validates our negative behaviours. No one is perfect. We all make mistakes, even with good intentions. People can act in negative ways, especially when in living in stress and living in fear. And when these things are always brought up, our minds begin to subconsciously look for the negatives, look for the blame, as they never validate the good that we do. We no longer feel good about ourselves, good enough or worthy of others, leaving us with self-doubt, questioning all our behaviours and actions. When our minds are programmed to think in negative ways, we find it increasingly more difficult to find the joys in life, overwhelmed with negative emotions, often causing those anxieties and CPTSD. There are lots of steps to overcome anxiety and CPTSD. Another to help with this is reprogramming our subconscious mind to work for us. This takes time and practice, and once you can master your own thoughts and emotions, life becomes more joyful. It doesn't mean bad things aren't going to happen or that pain's not going to hit, that those low moments will not come anymore. It means we become better prepared for how to handle those moments, be able to understand how to make life work for us, be able to understand how to tune into our feelings, our emotions, tune into our instincts and work out what action it's telling us, whether we need to change our approach, change our procedure, change our perception, and learn to listen to ourselves and learn to validate ourselves. Denial. The narcissist denies us of our realities and our truths, always lying and hiding things. I'm sure deception is their middle name. And the aim of their game is to deny people reality so that they can get away with what they want to get away with and invalidate all others, gain control and do as they please. Even the breakups, the discard is done in such cruel ways to deny us closure. We have to learn to give ourselves the closure that we owe ourselves. We give ourselves the closure by partly learning about the disorder, learning about our experience, learning about who we are, closing the door on the past and moving on to our future, as they leave us to try and work it all out, and they leave us often when we needed them the most. They leave us in emotional turmoil. The great news is once you do learn about the narcissist personality disorder, you can give yourself the closure. Even with facts and evidence placed in front of them, they will deny, blame shift and deny some more, leaving our minds confused. Questioning them more leaves us feeling hurt and angry. At the same time, their sense of self is inflated as they feel important that others want answers. They don't care for negative attention or positive attention. Attention is attention to them. They require excessive attention. What matters to them is when they are ignored, no longer important to others, often why most seek to destroy those who go no contact. Financial abuse. There are so many ways narcissists financially abuse people, yet somehow most control the money. Either not wanting you to go to work, finding ways so that you cannot work, playing the guilt card, borrowing money from you and never paying you back, taking credit cards out in your name, all these methods invalidate our sense of security to either have the right to earn money or spend money, invalidating our capabilities of being able to take care of ourselves, keeping us trapped for fear we aren't capable of getting the financial resources to even support ourselves. The constant criticism from how we look, what we wear, our shape, hair, size, they continuously go at any flaws or insecurities that we might have. They pick us apart bit by bit by telling us directly the overt way. You couldn't do that course, to the covert, I don't think that really suits you. I wouldn't bother if I was you. They slowly invalidate how we feel about ourselves, our capabilities, our thoughts, so they can feel better within themselves. Narcissistic people love to manipulate and invalidate, while most survivors of narcissistic abuse are left too afraid to speak out. In case others invalidate them further, yet joining support groups and supportive people, even if you just sit back and observe at first, and there is going to be some toxic people in there, so don't judge, don't take things personally, but sit back and observe at first, make sure they are the right people for you. Once you are ready to open up, you'll see how you are thinking and feeling after and during a narcissistic relationship is normal. Your thoughts and feelings are incredibly valid. And with things like support group, there's people that get in these groups that shouldn't be in, and there's also people struggling with things like CPTSD that jump to the wrong conclusion for no other reason that they're in that fight, flight, freeze and fawn mode still, and still processing things and working through things. We must learn, as hard as it is at times, it's up to ourselves to make our worlds work for us, to raise ourselves back up, to validate our own thoughts and feelings, to contribute to ourselves and others in positive ways, to know ourselves well enough to validate ourselves and those around us, so we have the help and support from the people that are willing to help and support to achieve what we want from life. And when that support network isn't there, we can give ourselves the get up and go. We can say no to the naysayers and no to those who intimidate or invalidate us. We can instead show them that it is possible. For a narcissist to change, they would have to raise their own level of self-awareness, face guilt, pain, insecurities, and so many more. Even then, they'd only find coping strategies. They would still have the disorders. They are unable to see any faults or wrongdoings within themselves. It's highly unlikely that one is going to do this. They can falsely change at a moment to meet a need. Again, that change is only a surface level change and not getting to the root cause. And if they have to change for you to get what they need, they will often then end up punishing for you for that further down the line. They are only ever temporarily changing to manipulate others to get their own needs met. There are hurt people who go around hurting people to help themselves feel better. Then there are hurt people who go around helping people as they don't want others to feel how they feel. No contact with those who invalidate you is the best method to start recovery. Finding people who validate you until you can start validating yourself again helps massively. People that can validate the experience of what you've lived through, to know that you're not alone, to know that you're not crazy, you've lived this, it's happened. If you cannot go no contact, then grey rock, retreat, rethink, and only respond if you need to do so. That one response is for you. You cannot communicate with them, but you must understand if it doesn't serve them, they're not going to listen to you. So as much as you can say what you need to say, you can't fully communicate with them. You can communicate in a sense of you can tell them something, but they're not going to listen unless it suits them. They will seek to take you down. They will seek to gain control over you. However, you're entitled to be who you want to be and think about things how you want to think about things. Narcissistic people are not looking for compromise as you are. They are looking at everything as single-minded and from their way only and to win. If you respond and state your point calmly and once. You do not need to defend your actions, thoughts or feelings to them. You've made your point and that is your point. Most will try to take you off topic with their word salad. Leave them to it. Know your point and stick to it. Know your reality. Know your truth. You can only compromise with those who are willing to understand each other, those who understand give and take. Let them know if you understand their point of view, and let them know it's not for you. Make sure your behaviour matches your words. Once they take you down on one thing, they'll go for more. Keep your boundaries. Know your boundaries, know your no's and stick to them. Don't get angry. Yes, it's hard at first. They want you to become angry. That's why they are doing what they do. Creating your inner confidence and self-validation, so you will observe others' negativity and don't absorb their negativity. Confidence is not something people just have. It's something they create within themselves. And you can create that confidence and give yourself that self-validation within yourself. Not everything is positive. To try and find the positive in things. And when you're going through some experiences, that seems like a very daunting, impossible task. I've lived those moments myself. Start speaking up for yourself. No more, I don't mind. Unless you genuinely don't mind about something, then that's fine. But if you do mind, then you mind. So it's a no. Stick to your boundaries. Stop worrying about offending others. Be tactful, yes. Be humble, yes. Be kind, yes. But don't deny yourself the truth of who you are. With good intentions, there's no wrong way or right way to live your life. Face fears head on and overcome them one by one. Not easy. Start with the small ones. If it's smiling at a stranger, keep doing that. When people start smiling back, it lifts you up. Then look for the next fear. And I'm with narcissistic people, stay safe. I'm on about fears of building your confidence back up, validating yourself, getting back out there, starting new hobbies, starting new jobs, starting new dreams, dressing how you want to dress, raise your head high, walk tall, dress to impress yourself, compliment others, genuine compliments, raise others up. And it actually helps raise yourself up. Focus on the good things to be grateful for. Look for something that you have achieved in your past to show yourself that you are capable of achieving things in your future or in your present. Look to others for inspiration that has achieved something that you'd like to achieve. They are also human, just like you. They will have had their ups and downs, perhaps different to yours, yet they will have had them. If they can do something, you can do it too. The only person you are in competition with is yourself. Ignore the haters and the invalidators. They are not for you. Make some you time each day to sit and reflect. Give yourself credit for the things that you have achieved. Progress made and some things that you are proud of. Know within yourself you have every right to feel how you feel, whatever those feelings are in the moment. Accept how you feel in that moment. Learn to recognize the emotion and what it is teaching you. Work through them. Don't allow frustrations to let you feel the shame. We all slip up, we all make mistakes, and then our minds look for the, why is this happening to me? Or it's going to be one of those days. I knew I couldn't do it. There's no point in trying. And we spiral into that depression, most often left with those feelings after a narcissistic relationship. Remind yourself that you are human. Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb, he didn't give up and say he couldn't do it. He said, I haven't failed. I just found 10,000 ways it didn't work. And he kept going until he found the way it worked. So whatever it is you're doing, keep going until you find the way it works for you. Not a narcissistic relationship. That will not work. You will have tried time and time again. They have a disorder. It is who they are. Find your strengths and skills and work to create brighter things for you. Some people believe having confidence makes them narcissistic. With good intentions towards others, this simply isn't true. A narcissist has arrogance and tries to build themselves up by destroying others. Confident people build themselves up by helping others. Remember, there is a difference between a confident person and a arrogant person. Being an empathetic, confident person means you have learned to be certain within yourself and your abilities, even if you make mistakes along the way. We are human, it's how we learn. Remember, to beat any narcissist at any game they are playing, we have to just stop playing and turn inwards to ourselves. I'm Elizabeth Shaw. If you do find the information on this channel helpful, please do subscribe, like and share. Add in the comments anything you'd like more information on. We are all individuals, so it's finding what works for you. I shall add in the description the courses available, the online courses. I am full for one-to-one coaching, so I shall add the link to BetterHelp, who I've partnered up with. I shall also add the video on healing insecurities after narcissistic abuse in the description. Thank you very much for listening. Bye.